Dear students, we are meeting after a gap of 1 week to continue with topic number 3, named as transistor amplifiers. And in the last period, we studied about the Darlington pair amplifier, and we have introduced the multi-stage amplifiers. As we have studied the Darlington pair, where we studied that Darlington pair is a combination of two transistors, both are of either NPN or PNP, in which emitter of one transistor is connected to the base and collector of same transistor is connected to the collector of other transistor, and only three terminals are brought for the connection, external connection, known as emitter base collector. If both the transistors are well matched, then they have the same current gain, and that's why the current gain of Darlington pair becomes equal to square of the beta, by considering that beta is the current gain of transistor in common emitter configuration. Especially Darlington pair amplifier is used to amplify the current provided at its input. Obviously, it should be biased properly by making use of voltage divider biasing concept to adjust its operating point in a proper region. As a being, we have studied that it has high input impedance, low output impedance, current gain is high, that is a beta square, voltage gain is unity. After that, we have introduced the meaning of multi-stage amplifier, where we have studied that if the gain of single stage amplifier is not sufficient to amplify the input signal, then such one more stage is connected, in which output of first stage is going to act as the input to the second stage, and there is a result of two-stage amplifier whose gain is the product of gain of individual stages of the amplifier. This means that if suppose gain of first stage amplifier is a 10, and if suppose gain of second stage amplifier is also 10, then the net gain of two stage amplifier is 10 into 10, that is 100. So if you increase the number of stages, naturally the gain of entire amplifier also increases. That is the reason why multi-stage amplifiers are expected to be studied and can be used. Friends, depends upon how output of first stage is connected as the input of the second stage. Naturally, the multi-stage amplifiers are classified into the different categories. Obviously, there are three types of multi-stage amplifiers. The process of connecting output of first stage of amplifier as an input to the second stage is known as cascading of amplifier. If both the transistors are same, in the sense if both are in common emitter configuration, or both are in common base configuration, or both are in common collector configuration, and under such an amplifier situation, if the output of first stage is connected as an input to the second stage, then that method is known as cascading of amplifier, or it is called as coupling of amplifier. And while coupling, If suppose one of the stage is in common emitter configuration and another is in, say, maybe in common base or common collector configuration, under such a condition it is known as cascode amplifier. Friends, in short, the method of connecting output of first stage as an input to the second stage is known as coupling or cascading, and depends upon coupling components used. Means the way by means upon which the output of first stage is connected to the input of second stage. As we have studied that there are three types of amplifiers. One is a direct coupled amplifier, second one is a resistance capacitor coupled amplifier, third one is a transformer coupled amplifier, and the last one is, say, impedance coupled amplifier. We have studied all these aspects in the last time. Now we are going to consider one of the type of multi-stage amplifier, that is known as direct coupled amplifier. This direct coupled amplifier can be abbreviated as DC amplifier. It is called so because here the output of first stage is coupled as the input of the second stage without making use of any coupling component. Meaning thereby, output of first stage is given as the input of second stage without any coupling component. That is, output of first stage is given as the input of second stage directly. That is the reason why it is called as direct coupled amplifier. Another reason is that this amplifier is used to amplify the DC level frequency signal. Ideally, DC signal has a frequency 0 Hz, but this amplifier is used low frequency signal amplification. Means within the frequency range of 1 Hz to 10 Hz or 10 kilohertz. Such small frequencies are going to be amplified by means of this particular amplifier. So that is another reason why it is called as direct coupled amplifier. Such a direct coupled amplifier consists of, or the circuit diagram of direct coupled amplifier is represented in this particular diagram. This is a two-stage DC coupled amplifier. From input signal up to the output of collector, that forms the first stage, and from the output of collector of the first stage up to the voltage across load resistance connected, it forms the second stage. In the figure it is observed that here is the output voltage which is obtained. Let me take this output voltage as a, say, VO1. Let me call input voltage as a VI. After amplification, we can get the output voltage VO1. This output voltage is going to be connected to the base of transistor Q2 directly without any coupling component. Look at here, output here is picked up and it is connected directly to the base of transistor Q2. This is the reason why it is called as a direct coupled amplifier. That's why from this to this, there is one stage of amplifier. From here onwards up to the load resistance, that forms the second stage of amplifier. Both are coupled directly with each other. The first stage of amplifier consists of, say, transistor Q1, obviously in common emitter configuration, because emitter is common for input as well as its output. This transistor is biased by making use of voltage divider arrangement formed by resistance R1 and that of R2, which will adjust the operating point of this particular transistor in the active region so that it is going to act as a very faithful amplifier that sets the proper quenching point on the load line. This provides the required amount of base current to the base of transistor Q1. This allows collector current to pass through the resistance RC1, which is going to act as a load resistance connected between VCC and that of collector. Emitter resistance RE is going to act as emitter resistance that provides a self biasing to the transistor Q1. In most of the occasions, across emitter of transistor Q1, a capacitor is going to be grounded, which is going to act as a emitter bypass capacitor. The output of this particular stage after amplification as a VO1 output voltage is given as input voltage of base of transistor Q2. This second stage is quite analogous to that of first stage. This second stage also consists of transistor Q2 again in common emitter configuration. Its operating point is also adjusted in the active region by making use of voltage divider arrangement formed by R1 and R2 so that it is going to act as a very faithful amplifier. It will again set the proper amount of base current which will allow collector current to pass through the resistance RC2, which is going to act as a load resistance connected between VCC and that of collector. Here also emitter resistance RE2 is going to provide self biasing to the transistor Q2. Here additional load resistance RL is connected across the collector and ground, across which we are going to get the final amplified output voltage. If we consider AV1 be the gain of first stage amplifier, whose gain is represented by considering Vi is the input voltage, VO1 with output voltage, the gain of first stage of amplifier is given as AV1 equal to VO1 upon Vi. This VO1 output voltage is again amplified gain times the input voltage of second stage amplifier, whose gain is AV2, so as to get the output voltage VO. So that's why the gain of second stage amplifier is given as AV2 equal to VO upon VO1. We are aware that the net gain of this particular two-stage amplifier is a product of individual gains of respective stages of the amplifiers, as we have studied when we have introduced the multi-stage amplifier. So that's why we can say net gain of two-stage amplifier is AV is equal to AV1 into AV2, and that's equal to VO1 upon Vi, which is here, into VO upon VO1. Obviously VO1 will cancel and we can get the net gain as VO upon Vi. Thus net gain of two-stage amplifier is a VO upon Vi. Friends, try to remember, whatever the input signal it is applied, it is amplified gain times, and we are going to get the output voltage VO1. This is amplified by the second stage amplifier, again it's the gain times, and finally net amplified output voltage is made available, which is the required amplified output voltage. You can set the voltage gain of amplifier as per your requirement, which is going to be managed by means of an RC1 and RE1 or RC2 and RE2. If you take the ratio of RC1 upon RE1. If you select the proper value of RC1 and RE1, one can get the required amount of gain, voltage gain. So thus the direct coupled amplifier can be used to amplify the input voltage to the required level. Friends, to study the frequency response of direct coupled amplifier, we can say to keep the input voltage Vi constant, magnitude of the input voltage is kept constant and frequency of the input signal is varied. At the cost of variation of the input frequency of the input signal, note down the various output voltages. Measure the input voltage for a particular frequency. Note down the voltage gain of net amplifier. Means by changing the frequency of the input signal, we have to note down the net gain AV. Then plot the graph of voltage gain of two-stage amplifier versus its frequency, so as to obtain the frequency response of direct coupled amplifier. Thus we can say frequency response of amplifier is nothing but the graph of voltage gain of amplifier versus the frequency. What procedure we have to adopt? To get the frequency response, change the input frequency of the signal to be amplified by keeping magnitude of the input signal Vi constant and note down the output voltage. Calculate the voltage gain Vu upon Vi for different input signals for different input frequencies, and then plot the graph of voltage gain versus the frequency, which is the result of frequency response of that particular amplifier, and this frequency response is represented in this particular graph. Dear students, here is the graph of voltage gain against the frequency. On x-axis frequency is taken, on y-axis voltage gain is taken. We are going to get the frequency response as represented in this particular graph. What we can conclude from this particular graph? If you look to this particular graph, when frequency is 0 and voltage gain is 0, you can get maximum voltage, maximum gain of that particular amplifier. Means for 0 frequency, you can get the gain maximum. As frequency increases, then gain of the amplifier almost all remains constant. Look at here, up to this particular frequency, voltage gain remains constant. Up to this particular frequency, naturally the gain of amplifier goes on decreasing. Friends, this graph is as like a low pass filter that process only lower frequencies, but higher frequencies are going to be attenuated. Thus, what we can say is at the beginning gain will remain constant, and at a particular frequency, in a high frequency region, the gain starts decreasing. In low frequency region and even in mid frequency region, the voltage gain of amplifier remains constant. If you multiply this voltage gain by an amount of 0.707, you are going to get voltage gain at this particular point. By considering that here is a voltage, maximum voltage gain is 1. Depends upon what type of the reading you are going to get it, depending upon your design. This maximum gain is going to be decided. But here for simplicity, we are considering it as a 1. If you multiply this 1 with 0.707, you are going to get somewhere gain on this particular graph here. draw a line parallel to frequency axis. This line will intersect to the frequency response curve to at this particular point draw a perpendicular line on the frequency axis. You will get this particular frequency. This particular frequency is the frequency in high frequency region, that is known as upper cutoff frequency. From zero frequency up to upper cutoff frequency, you can get the bandwidth. Means almost all within this particular band, whatever the frequencies to be provided in the input, all those are gets amplified. After that, no amplification. Almost all high frequency signals are going to be gets attenuated. So this is the speciality of direct coupled amplifier. Friends, this is the graph of gain versus frequency, to which we are going to represent it as a frequency response curve. Here no coupling component is used. That is important. And the entire circuit produces the response like that of low pass filter that amplifies almost at the lower frequency up to cutoff frequency, upper cutoff frequency. This range is as good as equal to DC level frequency range. It is a low frequency range. That is again one of the reason why it is called as direct coupled amplifier. Friends, this amplifier has some advantages. Get here? First advantage is it is simple in arrangement. As no coupling component is used, it is a simple circuit. Its cost is low. It amplifies only low frequencies. These are the three advantages of DC coupled amplifier. It has a disadvantages also. First disadvantage is it can't amplify high level frequencies. Means all the higher frequencies are attenuated. Hence it can't be used to amplify the high frequency. It has a poor temperature stability. Means if temperature increases, operating point may going to shift. So that's why it is less stable at higher temperature. These are the two disadvantages. Whereas applications, it can be used in analog computation. Means in the analog measurement, if the analog signal is required to be amplified, then this amplifier is best suitable. It is used in linear integrated circuit. Whenever integrated circuits are going to be designed, then in that direct coupled amplifier is preferred. It is also used in biometric measurement. Biometric measurements mean in medical applications especially. As our body cells generates potential, so generated potential is in microvolt or millivolt. If that is required to be amplified, especially in case of ECGs, EMG, EEG. So all these medical instruments makes use of DC coupled amplifier to pick the potentials developed by the body cells. So that's why it can also used for the biometric measurement. Dear students, this is all about the DC coupled amplifier, its construction, its working, its frequency response, advantages, disadvantages and applications. Next time we will study with RC coupled amplifier.